right. Oh. All right, what's up, you guys? It's your boy Isaiah, also known as the Bastard, and today I am doing a 5 things I wish I knew before I started producing because it feels right, and I have my new lights up, so I just want to see what it looks like on camera. Man, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet, nothing too crazy. At first, the list was 10 things. Just I don't want to get too much into it, but so I'm gonna just do 5. Like always, be on the lookout for a part 2, and hopefully part 2 won't come out 4 months later, as you know how your boy upload schedule is. Number 1, trust your taste. Music is unique, and if everyone produced the same, it will lose the uniqueness. That's one thing I wish I knew when I first started producing. Because when I first started producing, I had a real bad habit of just trying to sound like everybody. Sounding like everybody isn't bad when you're first starting, but continuing to sound like everybody is where you can start losing your own identity as a producer. For me, nowadays, most producers, I can't tell them apart unless they have a beat tag, or I listen to their production so much I know their little nuances. But for the most part, if there's no tag there, half of these beats I be thinking sound like Nick, or depending on, like, if I'm listening to like hip hop, Pyrex. That's just me. Number two is big. I know a lot of people do this. Stop crapping on hit songs just to boost your own ego. Now, we all been there. We all heard a song. We all been there when you say you're with your homies and you play a song. You play them a beat. Then you already know how the homies are. They be like, it's alright, blah blah blah. Then y'all just go back to hanging out, chilling. Then they start playing just the normal chill music, and obviously it's gonna be like some type of style of music you make, and everyone gonna be bumping to it. Everyone gonna be nodding, but you gonna be like, well, I kind of sound like this. I did the same thing. Why y'all don't like mine? Now you hating on this track, like, bro, they suck, bro. Everyone sound like this. Everyone do this. Blah 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 blah. No, take notes. The reason why that track is on the radio is for a reason. Most hit songs are not even just most really good beats. You can literally listen to that beat for an hour straight on repeat, no pausing, no changing things. If you can do that, everything in that track is very well blended together, and that's what makes a hit song. And if I remember, I'll put up one of my first beats here. After hearing that, you can't listen to that beat over and over and over. It's just no. See what works, see what doesn't. And a good thing to do is go look up the song without the vocalist on it, because 9 out of 10 vocalists are an instrument, but when you're starting out, you don't realize that because not everyone has a vocalist to work with. So keep that in mind. Let's move on to number 3, and this may shock a lot of people, but I don't really think it should. The act of using loops doesn't make you a bad artist or producer, I shall say. Me personally, I don't see any problem using loops. I personally don't use loops in all my songs. Every 50 beat I make, I may have a loop beat just to, I don't know. When you hear a nice loop, you just want to do stuff to it. That's all I'm gonna say. If you're a producer, you understand. Loops are in almost every song on the radio, and good 85% of all hit producers uses loops. And the reasoning behind that, when you're on their level and you're making as many songs as they have to make, you need loops. No human can make the amount of beats naturally that they have to just churn out. And on top of that, all the beats they churn out don't even mean they're going to get used. They may get paid for some, but that don't mean it's going to come out on the album. So when it don't come out on the album, it's like, well, yeah, you got paid, but you're missing out on hella promotion. When the label like a song, best believe they're gonna promote it. They want to make money. That's the whole sole purpose of a label. They make money. No one joins a label just to drink the label coffee and eat the label cookies. You join the label because you want to grow your image, make money. Come on now. All I'm gonna say is don't use loops when you first start producing. Reference loops or use a loop for a counter melody, but try to get into the habit of making your own melodies, just so you don't always have to rely on loops. Because there's gonna be a time where if you only a loop producer, you go get in a situation where artists don't like loops. Like, it's funny, you can show an artist a beat with a loop on it, but they don't know until they see the project. So if you're working on a project with an artist live and you just showing a bunch of loops, that may zone them out. They may be like, oh well, I don't really want a loop, I want something like scratch. It really just depends on what you want, but I'm gonna just leave it there. Number 4, focus on creating more than mixing and mastering your track. Mixing and mastering and producing music is two different fields. If you want to spend all day mixing and mastering, that's a whole nother track. You could have been messing around with different sound selections, messing around with different patterns, ideas. It's just mixing and mastering takes a lot of time to learn, and it has a huge learning curve. But once you get past that, I mean, yeah, you can easily mix, like not even mix and master fully, but you can easily level all your sounds, getting them right. Effects, that's all up to the producer. I don't care what effects you use. Effects are cool. Use effects. But the best part about first producing is just stumbling on all the different sounds, stumbling on all the different effects. No one cares when you first make a beat of how much of an effect you use, how much the automation changes the structure of the beat or your track. You're in the baby stage. Just experiment with your sound, experiment with your taste, and just don't take criticism hard because you're still experimenting. And number 5, which is kind of counterintuitive, don't get stuck in the YouTube tutorial rabbit hole. It can be so tempting. You get stuck. There's a YouTube video on literally everything on the internet. Everything. I learned more on YouTube than I learned in high school, and that's saying a lot. You just gotta make sure you don't fall into that rabbit hole. You want to learn how Pyrex does his 808 slides, his 808 percussion techniques. So you go watch a YouTube video. All right, 10 minutes go by. You be like, oh, okay, you got a basic understanding. But you go watch another video. The next thing you know, you watch like 50 different videos on YouTube tutorials. Then when you go try to apply it, one, you just confused because you just watched like 30 different beat videos. So whatever you had going on your beat, you probably just want to put some other random drum pattern down. You probably definitely don't remember the flow of it, because this is your first, you just started music production. You're not years into it. People say you should always finish a beat, and I agree with them when you first start, but once you've been making beats or just any music for 3-4 years, once you've been in it for like 3 or 4 years, there's literally tracks that I've heard that I haven't finished from like a year ago, and I just finished like 2 weeks ago. Sometimes you just make a melody and you just can't put drums on it, let it sit. You make some drums, can't think of a melody, let it sit. Eventually, when you stumble across of it, when you're hopefully going through your files and getting everything organized, you'll be able to add your sauce to it, and you'll know even more, so it'd be even saucier. Just stay away from the YouTube rabbit hole. My best advice with that one, watch 1 or 2 videos, but immediately after that video, make another beat. Don't go back to the beat that you already was working on. Do your own drum pattern on that one, and just go make a whole new beat off the YouTube tutorial. So you get in the habit of like, all right, so this is what I wanted to do. Now let me apply what this person did, so you don't start all your beats don't start sounding like a YouTube tutorial. I'm telling you, if you just sit there and watch YouTube tutorials, your beats will sound like everyone else that's just sitting there watching that YouTube tutorial. I've been there. It gets aggravating. But those are 5 things I wish I knew about before I started producing. Used to be 10. I got 5 more. I'm probably just gonna make another video, so this one, so it don't be too long. If you watched until this point, thank you. What do you think of the lights? You like the room lighting? I think it looks, it'll look a lot better on a different camera. Like my camera, like my mouth is lagging and whatnot, but it is what it is. But if you enjoy what you watch, please hit that like button, subscribe, all the cool things. I am working on my beat tape, so stay tuned for that. hit the bell notification so you'll be one of the first people to know when that's dropping. And if you're a musical artist, leave a comment because I plan to do a vocal rendition too of my beat tape. Like I don't like you don't have to have followers. Like I just mean like people on YouTube. But like YouTube artists, or if you follow me on Instagram, some Instagram artists, pretty much any artist on any platform. I don't care what your following is. I just want to take 6 tracks from my beat album and make some vocal tracks with them. So I think that'd be cool. If you're interested in how I put up the lights, I have a video on that. Should be the video before this one. If not, I have it linked down and below. Check out my latest beat video, and I'll be back with more beats, lists, and everything that's fun. See y'all.